Hello and welcome to Shalesey Cast. Got an exciting one for you today. We have uFrag xl3en versus Mo in the Meltdown City Clash. I will just show you that right now. So we have the video here. I'm going to be joined by Dunkirk. So say hello, Dunkirk.
Hi guys. Girls, in case we're seeing
Guys and girls. So
yeah, let's be polite.
Dunkirk is another frequenter of Meltdown, as myself. He's one of the players. He's actually won one of the Meltdown fireside gatherings as well. And me and Dunkirk are going to go through Ben's video. Ben has just been signed to uFrag, as have I, and we are going to go through Ben's video. We're going to give some commentary. We're going to look at how this final panned out. It was a €500 tournament. So I think Ben took around 220 English pounds home. So it's a pretty good achievement for both himself and for uFrag for him to get that kind of exposure. And hopefully we'll have some interesting games. So I wanted to just go quickly over Ben's decks. So we can see that Mo has Druid, Hunter and Paladin. And these are also Ben's decks. Have you got anything to talk about? Do you want to? Where do you want to start?
Well, we can first mention what they both banned from each other. So both of them banned each other's warlocks.
Okay,
so
yeah.
xl3en had noticed that Mo had been playing handlock. So obviously, from looking at the decks xl3en was taken with him, handlock was obviously a tough matchup. So that's why I decided to mulligan that one.
Yep.
And then we obviously haven't got xl3en's other deck, which was he was playing a demon lock, which was what Mo had banned for xl3en.
Indeed,
so,
yeah.
So just get that out of the way.
Also, I guess I'll just talk a little bit about the format. So it was a conquest, and you have just reminded me there that it was 4 decks, 1 ban. So it's standard bestified conquest. And for those of you that don't know what conquest is, you actually have to win with all 3 of your decks. So once you've won with a deck, the deck's gone, and your opponent can use any of their non-won deck. So any deck that they have left that hasn't won a game, they can use at any point. So they're not restricted to keeping a deck. And in terms of when you're playing, you're only restricted to using whichever deck hasn't won a game yet. So that's the only restriction. So you're not restricted to keeping a specific deck unless it's your last game. So you've already won with your last 2 decks, and then you have to use your last remaining deck.
Yeah, exactly. So before xl3en went to this, we were having a discussion obviously what decks he wanted to take. So what xl3en was thinking is what decks he's actually best to use.
Yep.
And one of the discussions we had was in the deck in the middle, especially was the Tempo Mage, which was kind of more inspired by yourself.
Yep, a little bit, yeah. So go on.
You'll get used to this.
Yeah, so okay, I'll talk a little bit about it. So this deck was it was used very prolifically, not last season but the season before, and it was used by the H2K guys. They got it from one of their mutual friends, and all 3 of the guys that used it the most actually came in the top 20 legend. This deck is my interpretation of that, and it has a few changes, and it has stuff like the duplicate, the Echo of Medivh, and the Kel'Thuzad in there as like not really tech changes, but more like changes to the deck, because there was a write-up on Reddit, and it was very prolific on the ladder last season, because the guide came out at the beginning of last season after all those guys had come in the top 20. So it was very prolific on the ladder. So I just made some changes to make it a little less readable and to give some people a bit of a surprise, I guess.
Yeah, exactly. And you can see by some of the choices there, it just gives you a chance not to slow down when you used all your tempo. So
yep.
The Echo to get some more minions back. Kel'Thuzad uses like a board clear and a repop of the board.
Yep.
And the duplicate for them to start playing around it, and then they start making mistakes.
Yeah, I know. I guess the duplicates also gives you a couple of minions as well. So like for me, I felt when I played Tempo Mage, and I've been told by Pesty I was probably playing it wrong, but like I was running out of cards, and I guess those 3 cards put in there stop you running out of cards, stop you running out of steam, and just help you just push push through to win the game, which is what I was trying to achieve with the change that I made.
Yeah. As for the other two decks, they're quite self-explanatory. Mid-range hunter, it's a pretty simple deck list.
Standard deck list, yeah.
Yeah, and the same for the fast. Although with the fast druid, a couple of interesting choices we can see X-Men put in there with a Yeti, which hasn't been seen for quite a number of seasons now.
Yep.
And even Spectral Knight again. So it could be his own kind of like deck choice, which kind of might surprise people. But it could be a good tech. We have to wait and see how it does.
Yeah, I mean, definitely Spectral Knights are going to be good against, all these spell classes, a lot of rogues around. So that just to let everyone know, there were no BRM cards allowed. So these decks are all non-BRM. Even though the first wing of BRM was out at the time, they didn't allow them to use BRM cards. So that's why these decks might look a little bit out of date compared to the stuff that you're seeing on ladder the last couple of days, in the last week or so as well. So should we just get into the first game?
Yep. Let's go ahead.
All right, cool. So we'll just start the video.
So we can see from both of them, they're both starting with their druids, and we can notice they're both actually playing different druids here. So we've seen Mo's playing a taunt variant of druid with quite a lot of late game. You can see with the Ysera, the Ancient War, probably some other big minions as well.
Greedy druid.
And with the KT.
Yeah, I mean this is the kind of like ramp druid that we saw like at the end of the season before last. Very taunt heavy, no combo. Ysera is very, very greedy in this kind of deck, but yeah, it's in there.
I've definitely played against a few of these, and they can have some really good starts. So you can see here, like with Mo, he sounds quite awful.
Yeah, very clunky. We did watch these earlier with X-Ben, and we talked about this game, and he said, obviously he didn't coin out the Wild Growth because he felt that he didn't have a 3-drop, but I think I'd just coin it out anyway, right?
Yeah, it just gets it going.
Just get that ramping going.
Especially with your hand, you need to get it going.
Yeah.
So you can see from here, from X-Ben, he's gone for double innovates to Arnis, so he's gone very aggressive.
Yeah. I mean, it just sticks Sylvanas out there, right? So Ben was just like, I want to take control of this game. I want to, get out there. And I guess Mo's turn 2 was pretty slow as well. He's Wild Growth, and that's going to help him get stuff out. But
so unfortunately, X-Men picks up an answer for turn 4 for play, but no turn 3. So Mo's just drawn. Probably would be playing Druid of the Claw here.
Yeah. I mean, Druid of the Claw challenges the Sylvanas and allows him an easy clear on Sylvanas on turn 5. He can Wrath that. Because on turn 3, X-Ben's going to struggle, or would it be turn 4 actually? Turn 4. Yeah, turn 4. He's going to struggle to clear a Druid of the Claw without running the Sylvanas into it.
Yeah, remember we're on turn 3 at the moment. It's just because he's Wild Growth.
Yeah,
so
X-Ben's next turn.
Yeah, X-Ben's turn 4. Yeah.
So on his turn 4, he's going to struggle to just remove an entire Druid of the Claw without running the Sylvanas into it. So I think my play here would be run the Sylvanas in and then probably keep her. What remains of the Druid of the Claw, just because you get a minion on board. Because if you hero power it, then there's nothing else you're going to be able to play.
Yeah, exactly. And then you're wasting 2 mana, which isn't good for tempo.
Yeah. But I think because we obviously watched these games earlier, I think there's a little bit more of a fancier play from X-Ben.
Yeah, he keeps the Sylvanas instead. So it takes the 4/1 Druid. Which, could make sense if the minion was much higher health, but it's just the same play. You should still get the Sylvanas because it's a 5/1. I mean, we can see it from Mo, he had the answer anyway, either way round if he kept the Sylvanas.
Yeah.
Swipe was always to be played.
But I think if it was the other, I mean, real quick shredder there from X-Ben, but if just to talk a little bit about that play, if he did leave the Sylvanas up and he didn't have the swipe, then leaving the Sylvanas up makes it much more awkward than leaving the Druid of the Claw up.
Yeah.
In terms of like how Mo plays, and I think we talked about this earlier. Like this entire game, Mo seems to be, and so far he's like off curve every round. Last turn he had a mana spare. He swiped with 5 mana, and now he's Azure Draking with 6 mana. So again, another mana spare.
Just unfortunately, sometimes that's with how the Druid works. Is because you're playing a late game variant, you can just go so off curve.
So Ben's like really, putting his foot on the gas now, isn't he? And going face here.
Yeah.
Really putting some pressure.
Forcing Mo to basically answer what I've got out now. So Mo's got a good answer here with the double Wraith. Can deal 4 damage. But we're going to see, unfortunately, if Shredder gets one of the 3 minions, which bring out 4 health, 4 attack, not 4 health. So it causes a real issue because he can't now play swipe and deal 5 and 2.
Yeah, swipe. If that was a 2 health minion, swipe would have been just perfect there for a full board clear, while still having the Drake developed. But I guess now he's gonna have to raff this and trade the Drake.
Due to the health.
Yeah, and he's gonna lose the Drake. So. And then a hero power, I guess he gets a little bit of health back, but he's just got nothing on board. And as we can see, Ben, he's
ready to play the Ancient Law. But the OP Dr. Boom.
Yeah, Dr. Balanced. So, he looked like he was like hovering over the Ancient, and then as soon as Dr. Boom hit his hand, he was just like, bang, hit the table.
Yeah. So Mo here, he's now got a choice between playing the War or playing Sludge and Hero Power.
Yeah.
This is just because you can't play Law to draw cards. You can't play Law to heal, but it doesn't really do much. Apart from stand as a 5/5 body.
Yeah, I guess the 5/5 body's alright. I think they're all legit choices, right?
Yeah.
I guess I don't know. On the face of it, I think the Ancient of War is probably the best play.
Yeah. Because then you can use. If the 7/7 then goes in the Ancient War, or thinking ahead of next turn, you can then play Swipe and Sludge, or Keeper and Sludge, and use Keeper as a 2 damage to kill the rest of the Dr. Boom.
Yeah.
Which might have been a better play than the one he was making here.
Yeah. I agree. I think. It's unfortunate that the Boombot hits him in the face for 4. Mo's luck hasn't been the best this game.
Not when the RNG hits the top.
I'd like to point out as well that I did do some casting from the first Meltdown City Clash. I don't know if it was called Meltdown City Clash, but I did some casting from the first one. Sorry, I have actually forgot to put the backing track on. We'll put that on now. No, we won't. So basically, the first Meltdown City Clash, and Mo's actually still on my friend list, and he's a real high legend player. He's a really, really nice guy. So I don't know if this is just him having a bad game, but he is a very good player.
That's what it all comes down. At the end of the day, it's like it's around RNG what cards you're going to get, and sometimes you can just have those really bad card draws, and it's really hard to get yourself back in the game, especially in a Druid deck when your board clears are basically your swipes.
Yeah.
And that's about it. So to get board presence back is very hard.
I think the Fast Druid has the edge in the matchup as well.
Yeah.
I think it is one. So Ben just puts the Ancient down, draws in, and as we were talking about earlier, he's looking for that combo, just the last bits of damage to really finish Mo off. So, he gets a 5/5 on the board, and he gets a little bit deeper into his deck to get those answers to finish off Mo. Which is what he's looking to do before Mo can stabilise and get some big minions on the board.
So we're probably going to see the War come down now. and possibly Chow.
Yeah, I think Zombie Chow's fine here.
You send the 1/2 into the boom and hope it hits the Chow, to be honest.
Yeah.
But from seeing X-Ben's hands, I think Mo's in a lot of trouble.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, he's got the swipe there. He's got the Druid of the Claw to, to charge in. He's got the Force of Nature. But yeah, as we can see, this looks very much like lethal.
Yeah, I think multiple lethals. If you look at it,
Yeah.
combo. Got the silence. Got Druid of Claw. In charge. Swipe.
I think he did really need to swipe that Dr. Boom last turn. That was probably one of the plays that he needed. So that's game one. So I guess, do we really have much to say about that before we rock into game number 2?
No, that was basically unfortunate matchup for Mo with the taunt, and just unfortunately got the curve didn't suit him that well, and X-Ben just went aggressive and paid off.
Yeah. So that's X-Ben's Druid gone. So let's get into game number 2. So he's going to go with the Hunter.
So we were having a discussion, obviously playing the Hunter into this Druid that he doesn't know Mo's going to be playing. It's not going to be a very good matchup, and we were wondering why he chose to play Hunter next.
Okay.
And he said his decision, because of his mage deck, was different. He wanted to keep it a secret so he didn't get seen. So he felt he wanted to win this deck next before showing the case of the mage with some of the unusual tech cards, obviously the duplicate and the echo that were what you came up with.
Yeah. And I guess, I mean, this is actually, in my opinion, this, the Druid versus mid-range Hunter matchup is actually a really good one. It's obviously against the Ramp Druid, it's not as good, but in terms of a matchup, it's a pretty winnable one for Hunter.
Yeah.
I think I was something like around 90% win rate the season before last with mid-range Hunter versus Druid. I was literally just destroying Druids with it. But,
yeah.
But as we can see, Ben's hand is very, very clunky, and he has drawn the top of his curve.
So you see it's now a role reversal. And now Mo was coming out with the good hands, and X-Ben's hands is coming too board heavy, especially if you look from his deck list. He's got the 3 biggest minions that he's in his deck already in his hand.
Yeah. I mean, some people would actually sometimes say that's pretty good, but when you don't draw any of the bottom of your curve, it does make things very difficult for you. So he's had to play the Houndmaster here with no buff.
So it loses the value.
Yeah.
But playing Mad Scientist and Hero Power just too slow, and because Ben's obviously playing Freezing Trap, it allows the Zombie Chow just to pop it and bring back, which wouldn't be good.
Yeah. I mean, you don't care about trading the Zombie Chow here, because you want when your opponent's full health, that's when you want to trade it, because then they don't get any of the health benefit.
Yeah. And so I think we're going to see Sanjin be played and coin Hero Power and send in both the Chow and the Hero Power into.
We did kind of talk about this earlier, and he could swipe here and leave these 2 up, but it's probably going to be more efficient to develop that Senjin and to coin Hero Power. So Senjin is going to do much better against the range that the Hunter could play on turn 5.
I mean, if he obviously had Wraith in his hand, then obviously we'll see Wraith be played, and the Senjin we played, and you have more of the board.
Yeah.
But, and we'll see Shades revealed, which for me could be a little bit early, because obviously Kill Command can kill it with 3 health, which we're going to see played by Ben.
Yeah, I mean, this is potentially a mistake from Mo here to reveal this shade so early. And I mean, I guess he feels safe behind that Senjin, but like you say, Kill Command without a beast buff is going to kill this. But I guess then it's 5 less damage that we can expect on face.
I mean, I find it interesting with him playing the taunt variants, playing the shade still.
Oh yeah, I didn't actually think about that. So yeah, when I play the taunt variant of Druid like this, I don't play shades. I play like 1 mind control tech and 1 what's the 2/4 where you draw a card or you Growth Tender, yeah. So I play Growth Tender and a Mind Control tech as my 3 drops.
Interesting tech, because it's not a card that's really seen played apart from in Fatigue Druid.
Yeah. No. I mean, and the deck did really good for me. Really, really good. It's a great card. Like a lot of people told me they're not sure about Growth Tender, but I think it's a great card.
It was the same as I think with obviously they got the new Blackrock Mountain card, the Druid of the Flame.
Yes, I think that's a great 3-drop.
Yeah, it's what I'm trying to vary the Ramp Druid into a Beast to see how that goes.
Yeah.
To bring the Druid of the Fang into the deck.
Yeah, I can see that. I mean, I think they're just trying to give more options all round, you know, for deck choices, just to get that variety. So you're not stuck with like 1 3-drop choice, you know.
And we're going to see variants in decks as we can already start seeing ladder. We're starting to see we've got Freeze Mage, Milro now.
Yeah.
Gang up. Freeze Mage with Emperor. Becoming a really good card in there. It's a strange 1 card can change the meta.
That card is crazy. It's a crazy card. So, looks like Ben considering going with the 2nd high main, but I think he realizes that he has 7 mana and there's only 1 card that you always play on 7. Or pretty much always play.
What Ben was thinking here was because of MCT.
Oh yeah.
That he knew Mo was playing, so that was his worry. But he decided to play it in the end. But unfortunately, we're going to see a very good board clear from Mo. So we're going to see Ray, the high main, innovate, and then swipe the Doctor Boom.
Yep.
And then the 2 minions, whether they survive, would then hit face. So I think he's just calculating.
Yeah, I think we talked about this earlier, and the reason that he does the way that he does it is because he doesn't want to lose the Ancient of Law to a double boombot hit. So what he's doing is he's using the innovate to allow him to play enough spells to mitigate that damage from those boombots and soak it up with the 2/4 rather than losing the 5/5/2. I mean, it's still a possibility, but it's less of a possibility. And as you can see, 1 boombot hits each, and therefore he keeps that 5/5. Well, it's now a 5/2, but he keeps it on the board. So it's much more challenging for X-Ben to deal with because that keeper soaked up that 3 damage from a boombot.
Yeah, let's put X-Ben down to 12 health, which isn't very good, even though Mo's used a lot of his resources.
Yeah.
So
I mean, this is very awkward for him. And when we spoke about this earlier, I think I said that I would still just slam the high main and the two web spinners here.
Yeah.
Just because the high main, like once it's traded out, the high main gives you more options. I mean, if you know, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 10. I mean, he would have been dead if he did that actually, because the Druid of the Claw.
But we're not to know that, so
Yeah.
The way, and I agree with your play there, that playing the high main, because as a big minion, you need to, you know, he's playing the taunt variant, so it's less likely for him to have the push through.
Yeah, so
But
like a combo or something to finish him off.
Yeah.
And the French battery dying there on his laptop.
Is it French?
I think so.
Well, we've got Berlin there, so isn't that German?
But I think the people that were casting were actually
right, of course, yes,
French.
yes.
Yeah.
Where the opposite, yeah. So I'm thinking it's Serbian feud from German.
No. I think
so
it's the caster's view.
So their laptop's obviously a little bit low.
Yeah.
So I'm seeing this trade in. So it's obviously we're going to see Druid of the Claw be played in Taunt.
Yeah, I think he's like conscious that he has that card draw the next turn, so he just wants to play this nice and defensively. You know, X-Ben doesn't seem to have anything. You know, he definitely doesn't have anything on board to challenge these two minions, but
It's a nice RNG for the web spinning to get Azarilla, but it's a little bit. You're in trouble. It's more want to try and protect your health now. So something like Kodo would have been a really good card.
Yeah, Kodo would have been great here.
Especially fitting the mana curve.
Yeah, and you should take out that keeper and then you can freezing trap the Druid of the Claw. Could really actually turn the game round.
Yeah. I want to talk about. Don't know how many pieces we've got at the moment.
20 odd, 30 odd, something like that.
And we could actually see then. Just would Druid of the Flame come out from web spinning now? Or was it classed as non-beast until?
Well, you see, Druid of the Claw is a beast, but only once it's in form.
So we wouldn't see that card.
Yeah, I wouldn't have thought so. So we do go with Gazrilla and Freezing Trap, and we did kind of talk about this earlier, that maybe this Freezing Trap wasn't the best idea, because we know that unless Mo is doing silly things, he's going to run the Keeper in.
Yeah.
And then that Keeper can be either used to silence the Gazrilla, it can be used for extra damage on the face. You know, like, the Keeper's going to be a problem, basically.
Yeah.
If he comes back, so maybe that Freezing Trap's not the right idea.
Yeah, not in that situation, because it's most likely to be Freezing Trap. It's not very often anything else.
Yeah, well, I mean, X-Ben knows it's Freezing Trap, so for him to use it when he knows that it's going to give him his Keeper back is potentially a mistake.
So we can see from what's here that they need something to protect himself from web spinning now, due to his health, and he knows there's Keeper in hand.
Yeah, but unfortunately, you know, he just can't put enough damage down. And I think, you know, potentially he's forgotten that Keeper's there because, you know, this is, no matter what he does from here, this is lethal.
Yeah.
I mean, he would have been one off lethal without the Keeper, so.
Yeah. And I think that's just what he's figuring out. He's trying to think, I think that's lethal.
So that's going to square it up to 1-1. Do you think any thoughts, or do you want to just go on to the?
I think this was just a role reversal where, unfortunately, with Ben's curve, it didn't fit him very well, and he had that problem from the start. So he missed out on his early game. You can see there,
Yeah.
the web spinner, Haunted Creeper, which have been a little bit better cards. Mad Scientist.
Yeah, he's even got one of the abuses in. I think this was quite a prolific deck on the ladder. I mean, I use my own variant of this kind of deck, but this was a very prolific deck list. This is what Ben was saying. It's a very standard list. You know, there's no real surprises in it for anyone. Okay, so let's head
to match 3.
Yeah, match number 3, and
so Ben sticks with his Hunter, as he said he didn't want to change over to Paladin to keep Paladin and Mage to keep it a surprise.
And
so Mo's gonna have to mulligan his whole hand here.
Yeah, I mean, there's an argument for keeping True Silver or the Shredder. I'd certainly keep the Shredder or the True Silver, one or the other. I think versus Hunter, I'd probably keep the Shredder. Just because, like, you've got the coin and you want at least one minion that you're going to be able to play. So,
yeah.
he opted for the True Silver, so he kept one or the other, I guess.
Yeah. But unfortunately, you can see that's pretty bad hand again.
Yeah.
Gone very late, and the quality is not a great answer.
I mean, equality is an answer, but it's not something you can play on curve on 2. So it's not really a 2-drop. It's more like a, 7 or 8. You play on 7 or 8, or you play in turn 6 with Consecrate or something. So it's not really a card you can play on 2. So the only real card that he can play is the True Silver on 3 if he keeps the coin, or he can play the Muster. But he can either coin out the Muster or he can coin out the True Silver, and he can't do both. So, one of them's going to put him off curve.
Yeah, exactly. So we're going to see another late game.
Yeah, Pilot Sky Golem not great, and I guess he almost coined out Muster for battle there. Like the coin was up, and then I think, as we know, he does change his mind and just dudes.
Yeah. The thing is, with the Paladin deck, your turn 3 plays aren't. If he's coin, he's not going to have another turn 3 play. He's not going to be hero power unless he draws a shielded mini bot.
Yeah.
Because usually with Paladin, you run the 2 Musters, your 2 Albador, and then possibly a tech card like MCT, BGH. It's your tech cards that usually fill that last 2-3 slots.
Sometimes an Acolyte of Pain for card draw.
Yeah, I'm not a fan of Acolyte of Pain in the hand decks myself. I know I see people play them.
I mean,
I'm more a fan of Cult Master.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. You either run one of those or a Cult Master.
But obviously in the new Blackrock Mountain, we've got the new Paladin draw card, which I think will really suit the Muster for battle.
What's the new draw card?
So it's draw 2 cards, costs 5, but costs 1 less for each minion that's died that turn. So
okay. Yes,
if you hit very well, you can obviously cost 1 would be the dream.
Yeah.
2 minions trading in, cost 1, draw 2 cards, very good card.
So the
combos will Consecrate very well.
Yeah, I was just about to say that. So this. I mean, it's a bit of a waste of the True Silver, but it allows him to get a full board clear here, so at least he's a little bit more back in the game.
Yeah.
That's a bad sentence, but yeah, he's a little bit back in the game from.
Yeah, he's got a turn 5 play in low feb, unless he draws anything else. So no, quite an easy turn 5 low feb.
Yeah. So, we talked about what Ben should do here.
Yeah, I did find this strange with Ben.
Yeah.
Trading, thinking of what turn 6 Paladin, you're a hunter as well. You've got the aggression. You can then literally do 9 damage, putting him onto 14.
I mean, what in terms of like, in this situation, like if we go to back to basics of the game, like you get taught not to make a trade if they're gonna have to make the trade themselves. And how else is he gonna kill this piloted shredder? I mean, he's already used one true silver, so the only real answer for this shredder is another true silver. So like, therefore, Mo's gonna have to trade his Lotheb in anyway. And then you're going to be left with a 2-drop, which is more than likely going to have at least 1 damage to clear the remainder of the Lotheb.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
But Ben gets a little bit scared by Lotheb and decides to waste 7 damage on it.
Yeah. And that's could be just a slight mistake of not playing Hunter as much.
Yeah, I think as a pretty strong Hunter player myself, I think, you know, we talked about this earlier. I would have taken the much more aggressive line, and you know, I would have probably like been able to finish the game a turn earlier. You know.
Yeah, you can see from what came out, then yes, because by seeing Beckman's hand, and obviously he should be on 14 health, unless he plays Sludge, then you would have lethal in your hand due to the beast you have on top of the field.
Yeah.
So you deal at most 17 damage.
Yep, 3, 4, 5, plus the 2 kill commands. I think you're 1 mana short though, right? He would have been 1 mana short of lethal with the hero.
Is he on? Sorry, he's on 7 mana.
Yeah.
Yep.
But I mean,
but
yeah, I mean, the point is that he would have been very, very close to lethal. So,
oh no, he would still have lethal if he didn't have a taunt up, because he's got 15 damage, not 17, and he would have been on 14 health.
Oh right, okay, yep.
So he would have lethal right now.
Yeah.
Due to the beast.
So again, we see another, like we spoke to Ben about this, and he was just like, "Oh, I wanted to clear, you know, for the Malorn. I wanted to get the Malorn down, but."
I mean, it's a strange play, because then Malorn is not in your deck originally. It's from the web spinner.
Yeah.
And then it is a target for BGH, which is pretty much still running every deck due to the box balance.
Yeah. No, you see BGH a lot. So, you know, to clear the board for this Malorn, I would have just freezing trapped the Sylvanas, kill commanded face, and hero powered, and again, you know, pushed further for that damage. But like, you know, if you hadn't traded the turn before, he would have had lethal. So, you know, you would have been dead this turn, and then if you'd have gone again with aggression, you would have been dead next turn.
Yeah, that sometimes the play styles, isn't it, where some people become more aggressive and some aren't as aggressive.
Yeah, I think Ben is a very Ben is a very more defensive style player than or he's at least a very mid-rangey kind of player, rather than going all out aggression.
Yeah. Also, I'm gonna say the same. I've been like that at the same time, especially in the final we had against each other in the Meltdown Clash.
Yeah.
Where, oh god damn, that was quite a few seasons ago when I had quite a strange deck choice in Starfire.
Okay.
If you can remember.
I can't at all remember, but I'll take your word for it.
Which is obviously wasn't very much seen at all.
So, is this lethal? It's almost lethal, right?
Almost lethal. He's 2 mana short to do lethal.
Yeah, I mean he's definitely deliberating about it.
So we can see our 9 damage to the face. Hellbound. They're gonna kill command the sludge now.
So he's actually like, I mean, I guess like I guess in terms of the aggression, Ben's go, like his like final deciding time to really go for it was just a little bit later than when we wanted to go. So he's just seen it a little bit later, you know, or maybe he's just playing a bit more cautious in terms of when to go. And I guess it is a final, so he doesn't want to be like all out aggression and it kind of backfire on him.
Yeah. Just one of the things he should then think of what cards have been played as well. So then know any of the consecrated cards have been played. Just to realise as well, then knows what clears my board.
Yeah, for sure.
Because that's when you want to think about when you're going for aggression. Is what's there that can hurt me going for face.
Yeah. But I mean, he's got, like, you know, unless the paladin heals now, he has lethal in hand, because he has, you know, no matter what happens to his board, he has lethal in hand because he has a beast and kill command.
Yeah, he's got 7 damage. And
so I guess that, you know, Ben's decided to go when he has guaranteed lethal the next turn. So.
Yeah. Unfortunately, I don't think there was anything. I think he needed another card before. I think he needed the exact 2 cards, which were BGH and Antique Healbot if he ran it.
Yeah.
Just heal yourself back up. But we're going to see KC come down to finish off.
Yeah.
And then go and lead 2-1.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think there's much to really say about that game. It's pretty standard. The Hunter just managed to push through, and you know, Paladin had a really awful curve at the beginning, and I guess that's how every game's gone so far, really, hasn't it?
Yeah. And both in three curves all off the plate. That haven't suited very well.
So 2-1 to Ben, and he's going to go into his final deck. So Mo could have chosen from. Let me just quickly switch back. He could have chosen from his Hunter or his Paladin at this stage, but X-Ben had to go with
his last deck, which was the Templar Mage.
Yeah. So as we can see from X-Ben's hand, he has pretty much what Tempo Mage.
Yeah,
nuts.
Mulligan the boom, and got in Unstable Portal, which you couldn't ask for a better hand than that.
No, I mean, it's this. When you get this hand as a Tempo Mage, you are just so excited. You got Coin, you know, you've got Unstable Portal, you have Kirin Toy, because you got 4 secrets in there, so that's going to be really good. And again, just Mo, just high curving.
Yeah, none of his early game, none of the possible knife jugglers, the shielded mini bot, none of those been drawn.
So we've got an easy Coin Unstable Portal here with the Sorceress.
Yeah, we're gonna see a really unstable portal come out here.
Yeah, it's always nice when you Unstable Portal on 3 and you get a 3-drop, so it's free, and it, obviously this one in this position just synergizes perfectly.
Yeah.
So we're going to see a silence from the owl. I would have liked to see the silence last turn on the mana worm with the owl. I just think that was the play. You know, it just really hurts the, like, what you want to do against tempo mages, you want to hurt their tempo, and if you owl there, then he has to ping the owl, and then that's all his tempo.
Yeah, I mean, I agree with that thing. I agree with exactly what you said there. Fortunately, actually, the owl actually helps him here, due to the fact that if actually that berserker was left building,
yeah,
then he would have no answer apart from Trill Silver, and still that's taking a lot of damage. So you can see there, he's then trading Sorcerer's Apprentice to play around Consecrate, which was really good. A lot of people wouldn't.
Yeah, I didn't see that at first. But yeah, he plays around Consecrate perfectly. And he's got his mirror image up, and Mo's in a position where he's probably pretty confident that that is mirror image, and he has a ton of really big minions that he really doesn't want to give X-Ben.
Yeah, so he's going to go for the board clear, and we're going to see the scientists pop out another secret.
Yeah, so we get a counter spell this time, so the Tempo Mage really, really in control of this game right now. 2 secrets up, a mirror, counter spell, both Consecrates used from the Paladin, and he has a pretty strong hand. He's got the Drake, Belcher, Kel'Thuzad.
Yeah, he's got his cards fitting really well each turn.
So he is going to go with the Drake.
Yeah, I think when you're tempo in this, you're not trying to defend anymore. You want to be hit in the face.
Yeah. So we talked about this earlier, and if you're Mo and you're a pretty high legend player, you're pretty confident that one of those is mirror, given what you've seen so far from the deck. And what do you give him? Do you give him a Lotheb? Do you give him a Sylvanas? Or do you give him a Belcher?
You have to give him the Belcher. You got when it's Tempo Mage, you're pretty sure the second secret's the counter spell, so you can't play Muster because then your turn's just going to become a 1/1.
Yeah.
And so you're going to have to give him the Sludge. You don't want to give him the Sludge, but you just can't pass that turn.
Yeah.
So we can see.
I mean, how many turns do you pass? If you know that's mirror, how many turns do you pass giving him nothing and him just hitting you in the face with his board and building a board behind it? You just can't do it.
No, I mean, I'm going to see again curving really well. The Mana Rim, putting up the second mirror entity, and being able to trade down the board.
Yeah, I mean, if you're X-Ben in this position, you must realise that if he's just giving you a Belcher, then he seriously doesn't have something that he can very easily give you. But as we can see, Mo does pick up a Knife Juggler, so he does pick up something, pretty good to deal with the mirror. But if he plays the Muster, then he's just going to get counterspelled, and there's pretty much his turn gone.
Exactly.
So I think me and yourself decided that, given the information that Mo has, then probably Knife Juggler into Lotheb is a better play.
Yeah.
But he does actually make the mistake of playing into the... I mean, I don't know how many of X-Ben's games he saw. Maybe he thought that might be the duplicate. Maybe he'd seen and noticed that was it. And maybe he just tried to chance it.
Yeah. There's a big risk, and he gets the good RNG here.
He gets a nice little juggle there, but... So he's going to play the second Belcher, by the looks of it. Oh, is he going to trade first? Okay, trade first. And he gets the juggle.
Yeah, give the chance to gets the juggle. But he knows there's no Consecrate anymore, so
yeah,
he's not probably worried about that Sludge being. So here we're just going to see the Tyrion to be played. He's got to protect himself. Lay on hands, he's just too slow.
Yeah. So, I mean, this is a pretty obvious KT to me.
Yeah.
I mean, he can trade everything into Tyrion, and it's all going to come back. He's going to get slimes, and he's going to get Belchers back. Full health Belchers.
Yeah.
And in that position, given that Mo has no Consecrate, so he's got no board clear left, unless he has like Pyro Equality, which some people still run.
Yeah, but unfortunately, he hasn't got one of those parts in his hand yet.
Yeah.
So
we're going to see the weapon, and this is going to be the nail in the coffin. Belcher, Belcher,
and Manarun. And Mana 1. Is that right?
So
An extra 3 damage, and that's it.
that's pretty much it for Mo. So we'll see the closeout, but is there going to be honourable Sudoku? Yes, there is.
And there we go.
There we go. So, oops, there we go. Let's just finish off so that the video did end there. So, I mean, pretty good from Ben. I mean, obviously, you know, he got some really good draws in the games that he won, and his opponent got some pretty bad draws. But, you know, overall, how do you think things went?
Yeah, I mean, there's very good deck choices there, especially Mage at the end. When you get a dream start like that, it's very unlikely you're going to lose that matchup when you start off so well.
Yeah, I mean,
especially against Paladin.
The matchup itself is actually very Paladin favoured, but you know that was just the dream for him. I guess that, you know, thanks need to go out to Blizzard, who sponsored the Meltdown tournament. You know, they provided the weekly prize money. So every Wednesday at Meltdown there is, you know, all Meltdowns across Europe, you know, there is a prize pool tournament, and that did lead into this finale where so Ben was actually the league leader, the league leader that could attend, and then Ingus was the other player. He's another uFrag player, and he qualified by winning the Wednesday night. So, you know, if you're interested in getting to a tournament like this, then certainly do check out Meltdown's site. Do come down on a Wednesday and do, you know, speak to the players. They do have a monthly Saturday, and I think the next one is this Saturday.
Was Saturday coming?
Yep, so the 18th of April.
It's annoying because it'd be one I would be attending, but fortunately I've got a Chelsea match to go watch. It's a big one as it is, so can't come down. It's a shame. That
is a shame, yeah. But so that is there. So I guess thanks very much, Dunkirk, for joining me. Go through these games.
You're very welcome.
And thanks everyone for watching, and we'll see you next time.
See you next time.